All right, take a look. Iowa caucus coverage live from Des Moines, Iowa. And there they are at the riverfront downtown Embassy Suites. Tucker Carlson and Brian Kilmeade standing by live there in the gigantic atrium.
Capitol building right down the road. It is right across the street, really. And there's a gym here. There's everything you want.
I haven't been outside in 4 days.
Really?
This is the biosphere. This is an experiment to see can man live
shining.
indoors indefinitely.
Right.
Yeah.
How many Iowa caucuses have you covered?
I've covered every one since '92.
Have you ever remember this type of intrigue?
This is unbelievable because the stakes are so high, not just for the country, but for the way we conduct politics, for the way the parties are ordered, for basically this will determine what the parties believe. Sure. This is a challenge not simply to the other party, but to their own parties. I mean, the two, Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump are running against their own parties to some great extent. So this is really a transformative, potentially, election.
Right, and today's going to be a very exciting day. Former Governor Sarah Palin is going to be on the stump today in Cedar Rapids for Donald Trump. She was just on another morning show, and they asked her, hey, wait a minute, you came out and you helped Ted Cruz get elected to the U.S. Senate. Why didn't you endorse Ted Cruz, and why did you endorse instead Donald Trump? And this is what the former governor of Alaska had to say.
With a true conservative.
You compare him to someone like Ronald Reagan, who, too, had at one point, he was a registered Democrat even, and then he saw the light. And I say, wonderful. I am so glad that Donald Trump is on our side when it comes to the political spectrum, understanding that free markets and capitalism and restoration of our freedom is the way for America to be restored. Good. We should celebrate that he has come over on the right side.
Anytime you mention Ronald Reagan's name, buzzword, conservatives love Ronald Reagan. Was this a fair comparison, Tucker?
It's hard. It's really kind of hard to know. I mean, I see Trump a little bit differently. I see, every Republican candidate in my lifetime, really since the 1984 campaign, has invoked Reagan. I see Trump taking the party in a very different direction, a more nationalist direction. I'm not saying if that's good or bad, but it's very different from any other Republican campaign I have covered in 25 years. So I'm not saying Trump isn't Reagan, but I am saying he's running a very, very different campaign with very, very different ideas from anything we've seen.
Well, the first time she endorses Donald Trump, the next day she's out on the stump, I think in Oklahoma, and she brought up that her sons had problems, and she seems to have blamed it on PTSD, and then tangentially, Barack Obama. She was asked about that, I understand, so here's what she had to say.
I never blamed President Obama. What I have blamed President Obama in doing, though, is this level of disrespect for the United States military that is made manifest in gutting budgets.
Do you regret the comment, though, Governor Palin, on that day of the endorsement?
What did I say that is offensive?
That you seem to lay it at the feet of the president.
I don't regret any comment that I made because I didn't lay PTSD at the foot of the president. I did say, though, that there is, and suggested very adamantly, that there is much more that our commander-in-chief can do to prove that he respects our troops and will let them do their job.
And that's kind of the way I remembered it as well, where she said the president should do more for the guys who came back. And she had talked earlier, Tucker and Brian, about how her son had come back from his duty changed.
Well, whenever you politicize your own family, it's tough, for sure. And it's hard to know what goes on in anyone else's family. But whenever you use that as a campaign talking point, I think you open yourself up to criticism.
Yeah, it did sound like she blamed PTSD on President Obama, whether she meant to or not. That's the way it seemed to have come off. Meanwhile, yesterday, after I landed, my one goal was to do what Tucker has experienced since the 80s, and that is find out what it is like in Iowa, trying to go inside these campaigns. So from the minute we stopped off on the plane to the second we got to editing at about 10 o'clock at night, here's a look at 4 campaigns that we went to, and here's what you missed.
Woo! On the ground in Iowa. Finally. Candidates everywhere. My goal is to see as many as I can on stage in action and see what their supporters are like. First stop, Rick Santorum. He's having, I think, a house party, a private party. I have no idea what to expect. After all, last time around, 4 years ago, he won this thing. We're here in West Des Moines. This is the home hosting Rick Santorum. What do you get out of this that you wouldn't get out of a major event or a big arena?
Oh, the one-on-one questions, just the personality. You really see what they're like. You get to see them up close and personal.
I'm an undecided voter, so I'm trying to take a look around and see which candidates I like the most.
The idea of the big rallies and the big events and the celebrity status that Donald Trump brings has really altered the landscape here. And the question is, how will that be reflected at the caucus?
So that was my first caucus house party, and that was great. Small, intimate affair. So Rick Santorum's moved on, so we should too. Next stop, Bernie Sanders. I think I'm at the right place. Bernie Sanders, not even his bus. And look at the size of this line. Are you for Bernie?
Yes.
So you've decided?
Yes.
Will you caucus?
Yes.
First caucus, it's a few hours away. If he's worried about turnout, one thing is for sure, they turned out today. For us, we got a busy night still ahead. We're off to see Chris Christie. What are you looking for? What are you going to listen for?
I like a president with a backbone, to be honest with you, and I think Christie has that.
I don't have my mind made up yet.
And so Chris Christie has a chance of winning over Lisa?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Do you know what you're going to say?
I have an idea of what I'll say, but you know me. You've dealt with me long enough. I don't, listen, I'm not Rubio. Okay, I don't work off a prepared script.
I'm very proud to introduce Governor Chris Christie from New Jersey.
Why Wellman's? Why a pub? Why is that the perfect place?
Well, because I get much better looking and more charming when people are drinking, Brian.
We have one more stop to make. It's Ted Cruz. He's having a rally. Got to leave the bar. Here we are at the fairground. This is the side of Ted Cruz's late night show, his last event. A lot of people say, well, you got a ton of great candidates. Why Ted?
Because he's pro-life, he's stuck to his message on that. He's pro-marriage, and he's so constitutionalist.
For Cruz, it's win it all, or it's going to come out like a loss. And the other big question is, how many people here are from Iowa, and how many will actually caucus?
A busy day yesterday. And
wait a minute, look, I think they changed location. Where are you guys? What are you doing? Shh, are they back?
Well, I think it's time to let you know what it is like living at the Embassy Suites.
Okay.
We're going to knock on somebody's door right now. Now, how many talents could we be? Who have you seen here?
Could it be Geraldo's lair?
No.
Could it be Alan Combs?
No.
Well, just knock on the door.
Could it be Neil Cavuto?
It might be Neil Cavuto.
Could it be Kimberly Guilfoyle? Who's in room 232 at the Embassy Suites?
Oh, man.
Well,
he's moving now.
Oh, my God.
It is Eric Bowling.
Good morning, guys. Tucker. Wow, look at you guys.
Hey, this is
I'm
the energy.
going for a run. You guys coming with?
You're going to go for a run.
Let's go.
Wait a second. Are you doing this for the morning show audience to let them think you get up this early?
Kilmeade, you know I run here every single day, right, Tucker?
I see you every morning.
Right.
You run inside, right around the rooms.
No. We do the whole up and down the river. It's a beautiful run, by the way. It's 28 degrees. It's perfect for a run.
Right.
You guys are
Samantha, hold on. There you go. Let's go. Go this way. Yeah, let's go.
I'm going to go for a run. There they go.
That's
Eric
great.
Bowling leading the pack.
By the way, Eric Bowling is not going to sleep in that room tonight. So don't go to that room knocking on the door thinking he's there, because he's going to move.
And a married man.
There you go. And then they go jogging.
There they go.
Around the ring of the atrium. That's funny.